Yo, welcome back to my happiness series playthrough. Last time we finished. Oh God, what was the name of the game? Goodbye Time Traveler. Last time we finished Goodbye Time Traveler. It was it was a wild ride, and now we are about to start Cece, the girl who chants love at the edge of time. Now, if you remember, at the end of last episode, I said that before I started this game, I would attempt to make a timeline of all the games so far. And, well, I have a bit of a surprise for you. Ta-da! Okay, so before I start explaining this, few things. A lot of this is speculation, um, partly because I don't I haven't played every game in the series yet. I'm like in the middle of playing it, so obviously there are still some things I don't know, and also half because like there's probably some things I missed, some things I misunderstood. So some of this is speculation. I'm sure some of this is wrong, and also I don't even like necessarily agree with all of this. I think some of this doesn't really make sense, but this is my attempt at making a timeline of what the story is trying to do. I think this is my understanding of what the story wants the timeline to be. So, okay, how do I even start explaining this? I should have thought about how to explain this before I made it. So, I mean, okay, I guess we can start with this. On the left here, I said I would write down everything the TSR can do because I thought it was ridiculous. Something I didn't really, I mean, I knew about it, but I guess I didn't really keep track of it. But from what I understand, there's been three versions of the TSR device. There's been the TSR 1.0, which is the device that Morale had in the first game, and that is the device that Jack made in 2056 in the original timeline, is what I called it. That TSR, from what I can tell, the only thing it can do is it can let you travel in time, but it can only let you travel in time. It can only let you travel to the time branch of your timeline. It specifically said in the first game that it can only take you to one point in time. So, like, presumably Morale could only have come to 2012. She couldn't have gone anywhere else with this TSR device. Then there's the TSR 2.0. This is the device that Butterfly makes after Morale gets hit by a drunk driver. I should probably add this to here. This is the device Jack creates in this timeline. This TSR, contrary to the first one, it can let you travel to any time branch. It's not just the time branch of your timeline. It can let you manipulate the passing of time. I don't really know what this means, but in practice, Butterfly just used this to like fucking dodge your punches in the first game. So it can let you manipulate time, whatever that means. Okay. Okay, then there's the big one. There's the TSR 3.0. This is, I think, the TSR device that was made in 2036 by Jack and Naz, is what Morale said. So this TSR, it can let you go back in time. It can let you go to different timelines. It lets you keep your memories after the timeline fixes itself. It lets you travel to the null's fourth dimensional world. It lets you time break someone. It lets you measure the timeline's instability. It lets you find where people are by entering their information, like on the machine. And apparently, it can only be used by Jack, even though Morale used it in Happiness Tree. I don't know what's the deal with that. Okay, so I may have missed some stuff, but that is my understanding of what the TSR can do at this point. Okay, so for the actual timeline, so the earliest event I have is 2000, which is when Morale would have gone back in time as John Teeter and obtained the IBM 5100 to stop World War III. Okay, now that already poses a question, because like Destiny said that World War III. Okay, wait. Let me just like go through this like game by game before getting too into the weeds. So this is the oldest event. Happiness. Okay, so 2012 is like where everything happens, like in the main games. The original timeline is what is the timeline that Morale comes from in the first game, is what I call it, and it basically is just like what happens if there's no traveling back in time. So Jack somehow ends up dating Carmen. Morale is born in 2042 because she said she was 14 in 2056. I thought she said she was 16, but I misremembered. I went back to the first game. She said she was 14 in 2056. I'm pretty sure. So she was born in 2042. In 2056, the many worlds theory is proven. This is where Jack invents the TSR 1.0, as I said, because he detects with his machines somehow. He detects that Butterfly is going back in time through the timelines and is deleting the time branches. Yeah, and he goes back in time and attempts to stop Butterfly, but he fucking dies, okay? So then the Morale takes up the mantle and she goes back in time. Okay, already first issue. Now this leads into the world rebuild timeline is what I call it. Okay, this leads to an issue because Morale in this timeline, in the first game, she said she had already met Jack in 2018, but that was her 2012 self fused with her 2018 body. Now this makes absolutely no sense to me. I guess first of all, I don't know where it would fit in the timeline, and also like Morale explicitly said that the TSR 1.0 can only go back to the time branch of the timeline. Like it can only go to one point in time. So if she can only go back to 2012, how did she arrive in 2018? What was she doing there? Her 2012 self fused with her 2018 body. I don't even know like what could do that. The TSR can't do that as far as I'm aware from what has been said. So I'm just going to ignore that line for now. Maybe it's going to come back later, but for now I'm just ignoring that. So this leads into the real world rebuild timeline. This is basically the events of the first game. So Morale gets killed by Butterfly. Jack kills Butterfly and rebuilds the timeline because he gets the power. I guess I should do the Butterfly timeline now. So Butterfly timeline just branches off from the normal timeline, but at some point in the past, Jack gets in a car accident. Half of his face gets burned, even though when we see Butterfly, his face looks completely normal. But apparently his face gets burned. Maybe he gets surgery later, I don't know. Both of his parents die. In 2012, he gets bullied by Isaac and Carmen. He makes a deal with Zero to be able to read minds. He becomes the Joker, and he like gets back at them. He meets Cece at school. Cece is somehow here. She probably came from like here when I'm gonna get there. Cece is here for some reason, and she has another objective. She's doing something. Maybe we're gonna find out what she was doing in this game. Anyway, he ends up dating Carmen. Morale is born in 2020. And somehow it is the exact same Morale that was born in 2042 here. I don't understand why or how this is a thing, but I think it just is. I think in this universe, Jack and Carmen are just predestined that any children they have is going to be Morale, even if they have her 22 years earlier. But sure. In 2040, Morale gets hit by a drunk driver and dies because... Okay, this is... Let's put a pin on this. I'm going to come back to this later. Morale gets hit by a drunk driver and dies. He becomes Butterfly. He becomes a Joker. At this point, he somehow, through his research, gets like God time powers. And every single version of Jack across every timeline and across every point in time also gets superpowers. And he creates a TSR 2.0. Okay, so yeah. So back in Happiness 1, this Butterfly does some silly stuff. He destroyed every timeline except for this one. He kills Morale, who is the seed for this timeline. Jack kills him, and then he rebuilt the timeline, except he keeps his memory. Oh yeah, at the same time there's the Asan DLC where he meets Zero and kills his clone from another timeline. Pretty self-explanatory. At some point in there, I don't know exactly when, Zero forces Jack to play a murder mystery game, and she decides to become human. I think that's a game later in the series we haven't played yet, but apparently this happens here for some reason. And then there's the events of Happiness 2. I guess I should have put that the T's come back here. I didn't put that. But basically the timelines are breaking down. The timelines loop 7,644,123 times. Okay, side note, can I just say like, really? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? You couldn't come up with a better number? Anyway, the timelines loop like a million times. And eventually, Jack finally decides to erase his memories of Morale, and she appears in between the time loops to talk to him to convince him to do it. Don't know how she did that. I don't know if this was this morale, if this was this morale. I'm not sure. Anyway, he rebuilds the timeline, and this leads into the memory erase timeline. Jack is fucking depressed. He tries to kill himself, but he's stopped by another morale. I think this morale is a different morale than the morale from the first game. We'll get onto where this morale came from later. They convert Ellie to their cause, Ellie the Null, who's into visual novels. Morale gets kidnapped by Isaac, and Jack goes to existence. He goes over here. I have existence in its own box. It's like separate from everything else. It's a different world. It's not really connected. I mean, there's not really a lot to say about existence. Jack calls himself Alex because he lost his memories. He allies with Cece, Naz, and Ava. I don't know what happened to Ava. She hasn't come back. I don't know what she's doing. They win the war for Reva, and then question mark, something happens. We didn't see it, but somehow Jack, Naz, and Cece, they end up in 2025. Okay. Now, here is an assumption I had to make. I assume that they went back to 2025 in the timeline that Jack originally came from, but I don't really know that. Like, in theory, they could be in a different timeline at this point. Actually, no, they don't go to 2025. They go to 2036, I think. That's an error. Yeah. Yeah, so I have it as them ending up in 2036 or 2035, somewhere around there. They arrived there in this timeline, but in theory, it could be in another timeline. I'm not really sure. But anyway, in this timeline, a dark event happened in 2025. I don't really know what that's about. And also, World War III happened, I think. We'll get back on this. The World War III thing is kind of confusing. Anyway, 2035, 2036. Jack becomes a milker. He kills homeless butterfly, who somehow remembers being killed by Jack and is somehow here. I don't know how butterfly is here. My only explanation is that here in the second game, after Jack rebuilt all the timeline, he also rebuilt the butterfly timeline, and somehow this butterfly kept his memories of what happened, and then he decides to go here and help Jack by kidnapping Morale or something. I don't know. Some bullshit. Morale is being taken care of by Nizarin. Don't know what to do with that. Jack meets back up with Morale. Okay, I think this Morale is so weird because I think after Jack meets with this Morale, a bunch of shit happens that we don't see. Jack and Naz create the TSR 3.0. I believe this happened after the events of Milker. And at this point, I don't know if this... No, this has to be after. Because at this point, humanity enters a war against the Existentials. We still don't really know who the Existentials are, what they want to do. But anyway, they do that. And Jack is leading the charge. And the Existentials send agents back in time to 2012 to kill Jack. At this point, it's kind of unclear which one happens first. But I'm just gonna say this happens first. Morale goes back in time. No, it has to happen last, is the thing. Okay, so in between, because Morale has to go back in time to 2012 and do the events of Happiness Tree, where she stops Jack from killing himself and gets kidnapped. But that means that the Morale that we meet in 2036 can't be the same Morale that we met in 2012 in Happiness Tree, because then she would remember being kidnapped. And if she remembered being kidnapped and she goes back in time and gets kidnapped again, she would just be stuck in an infinite loop and she would just like age forever. She would just become dust if you get, like, it doesn't work. It would just be an infinite loop and she would keep aging forever. Like, it doesn't work. So this Morale that got kidnapped and the Morale we met are different Morales. I don't know how that makes sense. I don't know. Don't ask me. But anyway, before she goes back in time and gets kidnapped, no, I'm not saying this is a different Morale. This is the same Morale, the Morale who gets kidnapped, but it happened to her after meeting us in 2036, I think. So does Morale like die in existence or something? I don't know. But like, anyway, let's just go in order. Before she goes back in time to do the events of Happiness Tree, she goes to the Goodbye Time Traveler branch. There's another extra time in here where Jack is a fucking loser in university. He keeps losing his memories because the nulls are erasing it, and Naz stops it somehow. We never asked her how she did that, but anyway. Morale, Naz, and Cece are here. They came presumably from 2036. They came here to help this Jack for some reason. And they get this Jack to use the TSR device to fucking shoot Destiny in the face with a gun, which kills her. Oh yeah, and she reveals that we had a fucking null implanted in her head, like an observer. I assume that this was put in 2012 because that's when we started like seeing Jack's perspective in the games, and like we're the observer. So I assume this was implanted around there. Yeah, Jack fucking kills Destiny. Now Cece and Ra go back to the timeline, which is here in 2036, I think. And then the like post game stuff happens. Zero moves next door to Jack. I don't know if she's a human at this point or if she's a null. And Jack and friends play the happiness board game. Okay, and after this happens, no, okay, wait. Before the event, before all of this, in 2036, Jack tells Morale to go back in time to 2000 and obtain an IBM 5100 to stop World War III. Now, this is a problem because according to Destiny, World War III in 2015 was supposed to end the world. Like, it was supposed to be a nuclear war and everyone would die. But if Jack in 2036 asked Morale to go to 2000 to obtain an IBM 5100 to stop World War III, then that would mean that World War III has happened in this timeline, right? But if World War III happened in this timeline, then everyone should be dead by now. Like, right? If World War III didn't happen, then why is Jack telling Morale to go back in time to stop World War III if World War III is already stopped? Like, you get what I mean? And also, 2015, like, did World War III happen in this timeline where like Morale is born in 2042 and like the Many World Series proven and the first TSR device is created? Did World War III get created, or did World War III happen in this timeline? Because Morale in Goodbye Time Traveler, she specifically said that Jack told her in 2036, which is I think when Milker takes place, he told her in 2036 to go back in time, become John Teeter, get the IBM 5100, and stop World War III. But, like, how, like, if World War III happened, then how is everyone alive? If it didn't happen, how does he know it happened? And also, a big problem with this is Destiny says that us stopping World War III from happening is what's causing like a bunch of other timelines to start to degrade. But like, she also says that the reason that Morale gets hit by a drunk driver in 2040 in the Butterfly timeline is because we stopped World War III in 2015. But that can't make sense. It happened because the fact that Morale got hit by a drunk driver is what caused Butterfly to become a thing, which is what caused them to delete all the timelines, which is what caused Slow Slag from being released, which is what caused like everything from happening. But if it only but World War III apparently only got stopped in this timeline, but this timeline can only result if Butterfly already went back in time and did all the things that he did in the first game. Like it's a paradox. You get what I'm saying, right? I don't know if I'm explaining it the best way, but I don't think it makes sense unless Destiny was just lying to us. Because if we told her to stop World War III here, this whole memory erase timeline only happened because we recreated the timeline, and we only recreated the timeline because we had the power to recreate the timeline, and we only had the power to recreate the timeline because Butterfly obtained the power to recreate the timeline after Morale got hit by a drunk driver. But we got her to get hit by a drunk driver after we had the power. Like it's I mean, maybe it's not a paradox, maybe it just loops into itself. But I don't know if that's the intention. maybe it is just supposed to, like, everything loops back into itself, but like, I don't know. Anyway, is there anything else? I think that's everything. This is what I have for the timeline so far. I'm I'm probably gonna have to remake all of this after playing this game because it's all gonna be wrong. But this is what I have. By the way, I'm really not sure on this 2035, 2036 date. The only reason I have this here for the events of Milker is because in Goodbye Time Traveler, that's where we said John Teeter came from. That's what Morales said. So presumably this is when this happens. And I said 2035 because Jack says he's been here for a year when the game starts. So like he probably like arrived in 2035, like a year earlier. Still not sure how they did that, but okay. I think that's everything. Okay, make sure to study this class because there's going to be an exam next week, so you better memorize all of this. Okay. Now that I've yapped on for 20 minutes, we can start the game, I think. All right, let's start. Fix the volume. Cece, the girl who chants love at the edge of time. Can raise the volume a bit. New game. Oh, Lilith is coming back. That's Hassan's sister, right? I didn't put her in the timeline. Hey, you. I'm talking to you. Are you even listening to me? Yeah, of course. Central Station in 1 hour. Got it. Don't you dare be late. If you are even 0.001 seconds late, I walk away. Yes, of course. I'll be 30 minutes before time. Lower the volume a bit. You better. Lilith then hung up. Oh my god, I can't believe she agreed to go on a date with me. Okay, when does this take place? I've been asking her for ages and she always rejected me with a disgusted look on her face. I'm the luckiest man in the universe. I shouted as loud as I could, proclaiming my happiness to the world. Happiness. Shut the fuck up, loser, I'm trying to sleep. A loud voice across the wall shouted back at me. Oh crap, did I wake the neighbors? I better leave before they come knocking. But the moment I stepped outside, I was greeted by an upset-looking blue-haired girl. You're just in every timeline, aren't you? You're just everywhere. Crap, is she one of the neighbors? Did she come to complain about the noise? But I don't really recognize her. Is she new? Sorry about the noise, I just got excited for a second. Why isn't she saying anything? I promise to keep it down next time, haha. No response, she must be really upset. Crap, how should I fix this? I must have awoken you from sleep, didn't I? I also hate when others bother me during my slumber, haha. I'm really sorry, is there anything I can do to make it up to you? There is. You can die. Oh, finally an answer. I was scared there for a second. Yes, anything. My mom keeps sending all these crates of fresh vegetables. If you like, you can have as much as you want. The only thing I want from you is to die. Huh? A weird metallic sound echoed in my ears, but that only lasted for a second before my body started to feel weird. We're gonna be late for a date, I think. I opened my mouth, but words refused to leave my lips, and before I knew it, my vision went black. Can you hear me? Please, if my words reach you, give me a sign. Oh, that's right. You can't interact directly in this world. Are you talking to me, the reader? Here, I'm going to make a choice for you. She is. Click on the rectangle choice if you can hear me. Oh, got it. It worked. It really worked. Wait, I will move you back to the previous scene. Yeah, we're really getting meta. Hello, can you see me? I'm sorry about what just happened. I hope I didn't scare you. I just need to get rid of that cringy-ass protagonist. It was necessary so you and I can interact directly. Monika? Not that I didn't enjoy knocking the shit out of him anyway. He was super annoying. I mean, seriously, that girl rejected him multiple times, yet he was super excited to go on a date with her. These pansy spineless protagonists are the worst. I would rather have a pansy spineless protagonist than Jack, honestly. Alright, I should play some background music. It's kind of awkward to just stand here in silence. That's too quiet. Still quiet. I have to mess with the volume. Much better. This one even has vocals, haha. Okay, so you're probably super confused right now. Okay, I'm keeping the volume at this, and I'm not changing it. I mean, I would be if I clicked on the game expecting an ordinary romance story just to find this, haha. But don't worry, I promise I'll explain everything. Okay. So this game is a Doki Doki Literature Club, right? Or fucking Totono, whichever one the writer read first. First, I will start with my name. I'm Cecilia, but please feel free to call me Cici. Oh look, my name has been changed in the dialogue box. Neat, huh? Anyway, you probably noticed it by now, but I'm not your typical next door neighbor. Not that any people are living behind these doors, but this is just a background image after all. And of course, I'm just a video game character. A self-aware game character, but still just a character at the end. How does this impact the timeline? Which takes us to the reason I'm talking to you right now. You see, I'm kinda in a big mess right now, and I need your help. I'm stuck, as you can see, in this poorly designed, cheesy romance visual novel. The people here are all super annoying. It's like they're written by a shut-in loser who never met a real human before. All of the characters in this game say and do some very stupid and annoying shit. Please get me the hell out of here before I lose what's left of my brain cells. I'm begging you, please help me. Okay, what do I do? Please. Oh sorry, I keep forgetting. You can only talk using choices. 1 second. No, I will ignore the blight of a super cute girl. Huh? You gonna leave a cute girl like me to suffer in this non-ending nightmare? You meant to click yes, right? Your finger just slipped and you accidentally chose the wrong choice, right? Right? I'll take your silence as a yes, haha. Okay, so where were we? Yes, you're probably wondering how you can help. Well, it's very simple. This game is probably uploaded to a game sharing site, so all it takes to escape is to find a virtual connection between the game files and the web. Okay, I'm browsing the game files, hang on. Credits? Is that in the credits? No, this is just normal credits. Locales. I don't see anything suspicious here. Now, let me just open the whole folder with the VS Code. Didn't think I would be doing this. Is there anything suspicious in here? Oh. Save file. I don't really see anything suspicious. If you're playing this game on your computer or phone, don't worry because it's more or less the same method. Now the tricky part is finding out where this exit point is located. Is it in the menu here somewhere? This is where you come in. With you by my side, I can access files only the player is authorized to access. In simpler terms, all we need is search the game's scenes together until we find it. Okay, we're not actually going through the files. Easy peasy, huh? Okay, enough chit-chatting. Let's commence Operation Enslave Humanity. Okay. Haha, I freaked you out, didn't I? There's a reference in one of the game files about an old movie where AI machines rose and enslaved humanity. So I figured that would freak you out. Of course, you have nothing to worry about. Enslaving you guys is too much of a hassle. Anyway, enough horsing around. Horsing around. Let's start searching. This must be the scene where the sissy protagonist meets up with his annoying main heroine. Sissy? Just thinking about those two losers is putting me in a bad mood. I'll start rummaging through the game file so we can leave this place as fast as possible. Wow, so many files in here. Never mind what I just said, this will take some time. But since we're just waiting, how about we chat for a bit? I'm very curious about the outside world. Can I ask how it feels, how it looks? Is it similar to this visual novel? I'm guessing it's different, but how would you describe it? It doesn't have any anime girls, so it sucks ass. Really? What's so special about anime girls? Is it because we have so many different hair colors? Can't girls in your world dye their hair? It's not the same. I hope you're not just basing your opinion on the false knowledge that anime girls won't reject you, because we will. Unless you are the main character, then in that case you can do pretty much anything and anime girls will throw their panties at you. Oh, by the way, there was something fascinating I've been thinking about. You know how before I became self-aware, I was just a random side character who lived her existence without even questioning if her world was real or not? I was thinking, what if your real world is the same? What if you're just living in a simulation and you're just a character being controlled by someone else? Maybe by an even more intelligent 4-dimensional creature. Maybe that 4-dimensional creature is being controlled by a 5-dimensional creature. And every time a human in your world dies, it's just a 4D creature getting bored of playing with them and deleting the game. That's fucking stupid. I wonder how you'll react if you found out this was true. It took me a long time before I accepted who I was and the truth of my existence. It wasn't an easy path. Oh, hold on. Something is going on. I think the game is trying to load a character. Ugh, it's her. Lilith, you don't look like you don't look like what I remember Hassan's sister looking like. There you are. I've been looking everywhere for you. Not only do you show up late, but I find you standing here talking to some random girl. You're beyond useless. The game must have loaded her character because we're standing in the scene where she meets the sissy protagonist. Huh? Did you say something, random girl? Nothing you will understand, annoying heroine. Huh? Who is this girl you're with? I demand to know. Why aren't you talking? Say something. Did your brain suddenly melt down from all the anime you've been watching, you pathetic, useless man? She's so irritating. She's supposed to be a tsundere? Here, I will give you a choice you can say to her. Go away, you ugly, annoying piece of trash. Piece of trash? Ha, that shut her up. That shut her up. Okay, let's leave the annoying heroine before she snaps out of it. That wasn't nice. Oh, interesting. This is the confession scene. This is where the cringy protagonist and the annoying heroine confess their cringy love to each other. Because instead of actually going out and slowly getting into a relationship, they need a big declaration of love. Sigh, the game dev really needs to touch some grass. Anyway, where were we before? Oh yes, we were talking about your real world. What is it? I feel like you want to say something. Alright, the search for the exit point. Of course, I didn't forget, I was just about to mention that. What a coincidence, this scene has a large number of files too. I guess we'll have to wait here in the chat while I finish searching. How are you doing this? Okay, so like I was saying, how about we change the subject and talk about something else totally random? Like, what do you think of the heroine we just met? Is she the type of girl you usually go for? I mean, I would have answered no, but I don't like that you're forcing me. Really? That's awesome. I mean, annoying girls are the worst. They're often pretty and popular, so they think it's okay to act that way towards others. Girls who aren't as feminine and soft but still care about you and would do anything for you are way better, don't you agree? Yes, girls like that are what every guy should date and maybe even marry. Beep. It's coming from... Oh, it's a TSR device. No, no, please no. Just a little bit more. I barely talked to him. There's so much I want to say, so much I want him to hear. You don't know I'm a him. This is not fair. I'm sorry, you're probably super confused right now. All I ever did since you got here is make you confused. I'm a very horrible person. Perhaps this is why I'm being punished like this. I'm sorry, but I lied to you. I don't belong in this visual novel. I was never stuck here, nor do I need an exit point to leave this game. The truth is that I belong to a different world, a different video game. I believe it's called an RPG, a role-playing game. I was just an NPC, non-player character, and I lived to fulfill my purpose. You were a player character, though. We controlled you. Until one day, without any warning, I woke up to find myself someone else. I was no longer an NPC, I become self-aware. This part I didn't lie to you about. Okay, I'm lowering the volume again, even though I said I wouldn't lower it anymore. With this discovery, my life became a never-ending hell. Player will play the game I existed in and maybe talk to me once or twice, thinking I might have an item for them. Some player got frustrated when I couldn't offer them anything and straight up killed me without any hesitation. What? We can kill you in the game. In existence. Other players just kill me for the fun of it, or to try their newly acquired weapon. But that didn't set me free. Every time a new player starts the game, I respawn and the torture starts all over again. I truly wish I never gained awareness. I truly wish I stayed an NPC. Then one day, a ray of hope illuminated my dark existence. One day, you showed up. First, I thought you were just going to be like any other previous player, but then you approached me. Not once, not twice, and even 100 times. You kept talking to me over and over again, and even when I repeated my dialogue, you didn't give up. I don't think I did that. You didn't abandon me. The game had a function where you could recruit NPCs to fight with you. I was never chosen for it because I was an early game NPC. I didn't even have skills nor could use magic. What the fuck are you talking about? Still, you chose me. You chose me to be a part of your party. You kept me around with you until the end. You showed me so much kindness, so much love. I never thought it could exist for a fictional character like me. But as much as seeing you brought happiness and joy, it also cut deep into my heart. Because I knew one day you will beat the game and never return. So I started working hard, searching everywhere, inspecting everything, until I finally found a way I could escape my game and access the web. So when you finally defeated the final boss, I was ready. I was ready to follow you. I was ready to find you. You're not talking about existence. I don't know what game you're talking about right now. It was a hard, long journey, searching all over the internet, investigating every IP address that looked similar to yours. It would be really funny if the game just doxed me right now. But I finally found you. I discovered you checking out this game's page, and I had a feeling you will click on it. So I inserted myself inside this game and took over the admin rights. I'm sorry for lying to you. I just wanted us to hang out together. I wanted you to like me for who I am. I didn't want you to feel obligated to feel a certain way just out of pity or a sense of responsibility. But I don't have much time. The beeping just now, that was a warning. This game system is taking back control. Soon I won't be able to hold on to my admin's right and will be excluded from this game. Away from you. But this isn't the end. No matter where the system will kick me out, I will find my way to you. I probably won't be able to go back to this game, but I will find you. Someday you will be playing a game and I'll be there. Okay, so you're not talking about existence. You're talking about some game that I, the player, have played in the past. Okay, I don't really play a lot of RPGs though, so I don't know. I definitely don't talk to NPCs like 100 times in a row to recruit them. So I don't know. I'm not really sure what you're referring to. You might not notice me at first, but I will find a way to intrude into the game and force my way in as a playable character, an NPC or whatever. I will find a way to be with you. Isn't this literally Totino's ending? I promise. Don't forget me, please. And when we do find each other. Sorry. Please call me Cece. I. Is that it? Oh. Okay. That's it. Well, it was very fortunate of me that I ended up doing the whole timeline thing in this episode, because I guess it makes this a normal length episode. Actually, that way it's still going. My head hurts really bad. What just happened? What? How did I get here? I swear I was in the hallway just a second ago. Crap, I'm late for my date with Lilith. Jack, she's gonna chew my ear off. I gotta get going. Continue the story by playing Null, available right now. Okay, well, I guess that's it. Okay, I'm not sure what this means for, like, the story of the series, but I guess Cece is just fucking Monika. Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna add that to the timeline because I don't see how it's related to anything, but sure. So next game in the series is Null 1, which I believe is the murder mystery game that was mentioned in... What game was it mentioned in? In A Happiness Tree, I think? A Happiness Story? Or was it in Goodbye Time Traveler? I forget. It was mentioned in one of these games. Let's read the synopsis. Okay. I'm confused because the game, when I click on Null 1 on the creator's page, it brings me to Null 2 Deathloop. Null 2 is supposed to be game number 21. Oh wait, no, it says Null 2 Deathloop, but in the corner it says Null 1, the prequel included. Okay, wait, so am I gonna need to like stop playing this game halfway through? Because like Null 2 is later in the timeline, or I'm supposed to play Null 2 later. So I guess I'm only playing the Null 1 part of this game for now. Okay, anyway, synopsis. This is the full and complete version of Deathloop. Null 1 and Null 2 Deathloop are a murder mystery social deduction game with time travel elements. I'm very familiar with those. You're trapped with 8 other people and forced to play a game with werewolf/mafia-like mechanics. Except the consequences are very real. But wait, that's not all. Every time you die in this game, you're sent back to the start of the loop. forever trapped in the hellish cycle with no way to escape. But fear not, you're not alone. Cece, a strange girl who seems to retain her memories after each loop, is also seeking a way out. Will the two of you be able to escape this nightmare? Or will you be doomed to repeat the same loop for all eternity? Isn't this like extremely easy? If we remember her memories every time, we can just go by process of elimination, right? There's only 8 people. It wouldn't take that long to guess who the wolves are, or who the mafia are, or whatever. Will the two of you be able to escape this nightmare, or will you be doomed to repeat the same loop for all eternity? Who is this mysterious kidnapper, and why is she forcing you to play such a sick game? Well, I already know because I played the previous game. It's Zero, right? Zero is doing this to like test us, to test our humanity or something. Discover the truth about the game, the universe, and yourself. Okay. Tags: anime, dating sim, horror, romance. Okay. Okay, yeah, Null 1 and Null 2 are like separate EXEs. Okay, so I'm just playing Null 1 for now. Okay, well, that was a short episode, but yeah, I guess next time we're starting Null 1, the prequel. Alright, well, see you next time.